What's going on, mobile gamers? Today I'm going to show you guys how to create the ultimate PSP Go with some hacking and an awesome upgraded micro SD card modification that even my kids could do. So let's level up our gaming knowledge, level up our retro knowledge, level up our hacking knowledge even more in, what year is it again? 2024? So the first thing I had to do to get this PSP Go to be the ultimate PSP Go was to hack it. So that's what I did. I checked the firmware, plugged it into my computer with no SD card in it, by the way, or an M2 card is what they call them, and I just follow a guide. Now, hacking a PSP or even a PSP Go in 2024 is the easiest thing to do, and it lets you do everything you can imagine, from playing emulation to playing PlayStation 1 to even playing some PSP games on the go on your PSP Go. Makes sense? So I followed the steps, did everything that the website said to do, copied all the folders over, did all that fun stuff, copied whatever else I needed to copy over here, and then I proceeded with the very first part of the hacking, which is just selecting the app that they told me to select. I use the LME hack for this thing because I've never used the LME hack, and I thought I would try that rather than the Pro Updater hack. And it was pretty straightforward. Just follow the prompts, and you'll have a hacked PSP in under 5 minutes. After the hacking was done, I copied over some games. As you can see, it's loading some games onto my PSP Go. Now, there's not a lot of room on here, so that's what we're going to work on next. The biggest modification that is everything you've ever dreamed of. But of course, I had to get distracted and play some GBA. I think I played this for about 5 minutes. Now, don't worry, you don't have to watch me play this. I just wanted to test some things out, just to see how GBA looked on this little screen. After I was done playing some Final Fantasy, I was ready to do the biggest modification that you probably would never even think of in 2024. Maybe you've seen it before. Somebody mentioned it to me, and this modification involves very little knowledge, very easy to do. So here it is. So this adapter right here allows you to plug in a 128 gigabyte micro SD card. And I thought I had to format it to FAT32, but I kind of forgot that the PSP or PSP Go or anything like that does handle formatting any micro SD cards or SD cards you put in it anyways. So I did format it, and then I was like, oh, I guess I don't need to do that. So what this does is it basically allows you to plug this adapter in here and plug in a micro SD card. Now, we do need to take off this back plate to actually seat this in here, and that's what I ended up doing. It's very easy. There's 4 screws on the back, and then there's 2 screws on the top plate. So after removing all these 4 screws, I went ahead and took out the top 2 screws just to pry this open. It's very easy to pry open. It's not the hardest of plastics or anything like that to actually get off. I thought it might have been a little bit harder than this, but it's actually the easiest, cleanest object or piece of tech that I've taken apart. So once I got my micro SD card ready, I plugged it right into this adapter right here. As you can see, it's just a regular SD adapter that would go into a PSP. And then I plugged this in. It only goes one way, so if it doesn't go the other way, then make sure you put it the other way around with the prongs or the contacts facing outwards and push it right in. It will click in just like an M2 card does. And then you can fold it over and close that door. Now, they gave you some Kapton tape, which is really cool. And the Kapton tape strips are here just to tape this down so that it doesn't move around while it's inside the PSP Go. So the next thing you have to do, there's some tabs on the back here so that they don't press into the actual SD card. You have to cut these off. Get them as flush as you can. They will protrude out. You'll notice which tabs they are. There's only like 4 or 5 of them here. So cut them off and you'll be able to put this back plate back on. It does feel a little bit snug at first, but that's where just using some force a little bit. Don't press it too much. If it feels like it's not going to go, maybe cut a little bit more of that tab off. But I had a little bit of a bugger of a time here, and I just kept on kind of shaving more of the plastic so that it would come off. If you have a Dremel kit, you could kind of like maybe Dremel it out a little bit, but you shouldn't have to do too much like that. Just cut it off, even with an X-Acto knife if you don't have any snips. But snips are really good to have alongside this. You can get these on Amazon as well. along with the toolkit that I use to do this, which I highly recommend you to get. And I highly recommend you to subscribe to the channel, because this is probably the coolest modification so far that I've come across this year. So after I got that back on, I started with the bottom right screw just so that it wouldn't move around, and then I finalized it with all the other screws. So the bigger screws are on the back corners, and then I put the top 2 screws in the top, and then she was ready to go. So I ended up navigating over to the USB, and I ended up formatting it, like I said I was supposed to be used on the PSP Go. Now, what is great about this is that you have a lot of storage to store any games, any emulators, anything like that, because the internal storage on this device is only about 16 gigabytes, and any of those M2 cards, they cost a lot of money if you can find anything extra. I paid about 30 bucks for mine, which was an 8 gigabyte card on, I think I paid on AliExpress, and this adapter was 30 bucks. Side that with a 128 gigabyte micro SD card, you're laughing, because that's about 10 bucks, and these are all Canadian prices, by the way, so convert those to whatever currency you're located in. But this was really a good option for your PSP Go in 2024. If you find a PSP Go, I highly recommend you to do this right away. Hack it. It's very easy to hack. If you have any questions about hacking, I could just tell you how to do it in 5 seconds, because it's the easiest thing ever. And I'll link the video, or not the video, but I'll link the website that I followed in the description below. Now, I'm going to plug this in. I'm going to go put a whole bunch of games on it and get to gaming, because that's what we're here for, is to enjoy gaming on retro devices and modifications and hacking in 2024. Bye-bye! Oh wait, I kind of forgot. It's not the ultimate PSP Go without a clear plastic shell cased around it to keep it safe.